And I know you had the situation with Iron Man, and you can clear that up because that whole situation, you walked away from that looking like the bad guy, looking like you were difficult. Terrence is holding out for more money, demanding, I want $100 million for this.
No.
Was that the case?
We had a 3-picture deal that, you know, that before we did the first one, everything was already set out what was going to take place with that. They chose not to honor that deal because they wanted to go in the direction of having Robert remain as the lead because War Machine was supposed to take over the second one.
Oh.
And so they gave me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Right.
You know, they just made it impossible. When they tell you they're going to pay you 1/8 of what you've agreed on in your contract, you know, and tell you to play sidekick, you know, I'm nobody's sidekick.
Do you have any regrets, or do you wish that you played that card differently?
Oh, no. No, not in any way. It was out of my hands.
Right.
You know, my mother died that week, so the offer never came to me.
Oh.
When they called my agent and told my agent, you know, we're going to let him come back for $1 million instead of $8 million, my agent hung up the phone on him. They took that as declined the offer, and they immediately went to Don Cheadle, but they did that deliberately. It's like coming and spitting in somebody's face and getting mad if they smack you back.
Did that interfere, or did that affect your relationship with Don Cheadle at all?
No, Don is my man. Don put me in Crash. You know, when Forrest Whitaker couldn't do Crash, Don is who brought my name up. And you know, so me and Don, we've always looked out for each other. But what it did do is when I saw that Hollywood was handing me my hat.
Yeah, like, did you kind of get, like, blackballed a little bit?
Well, you get blacklisted.
Blacklisted.
So to speak, because they began to spread propaganda that I was difficult to deal with and all this, that, and the other, and I was like, whatever. So what I ended up doing, I went back to school. Now I've got my degree. I got my doctorate in chemical engineering.
Nice.
And now I have a diamond company where we grow diamonds, you know, called Scio.
Right.
That, you know.
I heard about that. I thought that stuff happened before the acting. Okay,
no.
wow.
Well, I mean, I went to school before the acting, but when everything fell out with Hollywood, you know, I went back to what my first nature is, which is science.
So now, from your days of playing DJ Hustle and Flow, you were nominated for an Oscar. People think when you get nominated for an Oscar, oh, forget about it, you've arrived, and, you know, that's it. You've reached the pinnacle of your career, and it hasn't. It's been everything but that for you.
Oh, completely. You know, sometimes, you know, like in the Bible, there's this cat, Josiah. You know, when he was 8 years old, his father died and he was made king. Now, Josiah wasn't ready to become king yet. You know, he needed a lot of advisors. Now, fortunately, he had good advisors and he listened to them.
Right.
Now, me, or you take any young brother from where we grew up and being disenfranchised.
Okay.
Daddy had to do what he had to do. My mom, you know, trying to accomplish her dreams. So you end up raising yourself in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of things that you miss along the way, little tools that you need in order to maintain success.
Very important.
Being able, discipline being one. The discipline, I lacked the discipline as a child. I lacked the self-control. And then you're thrown into this business that gives you a carte blanche to be and do whatever you want because there's no consequences for what you do. And
until you mess up.
Until you mess up.
You know, it's one thing to be entertained by it and to bop your head and dance to the clubs, and it's another to go out there and start taking part in the lifestyle. You being an artist, well, how do you feel about, you know, artists such as yourself, whether you're a musician or an actor? Is there a certain level of responsibility you think you guys?
Oh, completely. I had a conversation with Lorenz Tate after he did Minister Society, you know, because he played Old Dog so well. I said, do you ever take into consideration how many people have gone and murdered people imitating, trying to be hard like Old Dog, you know, and he said it bothers him constantly. You know, we are responsible. You know, what I did, and that's why what I was doing with Hustle and Flow, I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure I did not glorify that lifestyle or raise up that stereotype as a goal for anyone to attain to.
Right.
You know, and I worked very hard at doing that. But a dead man down, you know, maybe somebody. So when I played this character, I made him very conscious of what he was thinking about. And when he got emotionally out of control, he did what he had to do. But most of the time, he tried to keep himself together. But there's only so much social consciousness you can bring to it because I'm paid to be an actor. I'm paid to be a color that the director uses to paint his own picture.
Air Candy with Renada on Hip Hop Nation.